On the 11th of February 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from prison after being locked up for 27 years. On the day of his release, Winnie Mandela, his wife and mother of the nation, stood by his side. The world believed a love story had been reborn, but behind the cameras, Winnie was already emotionally gone, lonely, radicalized, and no longer the woman Mandela once knew. By 1992, the cracks in their marriage were visible to everyone. The marriage, once thought unbreakable, was tearing under the weight of exile, betrayal, and years of political warfare. Nelson's gentle, diplomatic approach clashed with Winnie's fiery radicalism. Her militancy, once a badge of honor in the struggle, had become a source of embarrassment and political vulnerability. She had begun a love affair with her lawyer and advisor Dali Mpofu, who was over 25 years her junior, and this affair, amongst other factors, further strained their already struggling marriage, which led to a separation and eventually a divorce. In this video, we shall be shining the light on Winnie Mandela, telling you everything you need to know about her activism, her personal struggles, and how her marriage to Nelson Mandela crashed. This is the story of Winnie Mandela and the love affair that led to the end of her marriage. Nomzamo Winifred Zaniwe Madikizela, popularly known as Winnie Mandela, was born on the 26th of September 1936 in Bizana, Transkei, in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. Raised in a Xhosa family during the height of apartheid, she grew up in a society deeply divided by race, inequality, and systemic oppression. Her early life was marked by the struggle of Black South Africans under colonial and apartheid rule, a context that would shape her worldview, political consciousness, and lifelong activism. She attended Rourke's Drift Teacher Training College, where she trained to become a social worker and teacher, professions that exposed her to the struggles of ordinary South Africans and heightened her awareness of systemic injustice. In the 1950s, Winnie moved to Johannesburg, where she became involved in political activism. She joined the African National Congress, ANC, and the Federation of South African Women, immersing herself in campaigns against apartheid laws, pass laws, and gender oppression. Her activism coincided with a period of escalating repression by the apartheid state, marked by arrests, state surveillance, and brutal crackdowns on political dissent. During this time, Winnie developed a reputation as a fearless and uncompromising activist, willing to confront both the state and internal political opponents. Her life changed dramatically when she met Nelson Mandela, the rising ANC leader who would later become South Africa's first black president. They married in 1958, forming a union that combined political partnership with personal devotion. However, Mandela was soon imprisoned for 27 years on Robben Island, leaving Winnie to navigate the dual burdens of raising their two children and maintaining political activism in his absence. During Mandela's imprisonment, Winnie emerged as a symbol of defiance. She led protests, spoke at rallies, and maintained a visible presence in the townships, often at great personal risk. She endured detentions, banning orders, and state harassment, yet continued to galvanize communities, particularly women and youth, to resist apartheid. Winnie's activism was not without controversy. In the 1980s, her leadership of the Mandela United Football Club, a group of young bodyguards, became associated with allegations of violence, including intimidation and abuse of opponents. Most notably, she was linked to the kidnapping and murder of Stompie Saipe, a 14-year-old activist, which drew international condemnation. These events tarnished her reputation, leading some to label her the mother of the nation, while others called her the Dark Lady of Apartheid. Her resilience and defiance during this period, however, also earned her immense respect among the Black South African population, many of whom saw her as one of the few political leaders willing to stand up uncompromisingly to apartheid oppression. In 1990, Nelson Mandela was released from prison, marking a turning point in South African history. The couple's reunion was emotional but complicated. By this time, years of separation, political pressure, and personal strain had deeply affected their marriage. In 1992, Mandela publicly announced his separation from Winnie, citing irreconcilable differences and her controversial conduct. The official divorce was finalized in 1996. The story of Winnie Mandela and Dali Mpofu's relationship is one of intrigue, politics, and personal passion, set against the backdrop of South Africa's turbulent transition from apartheid to democracy. Winnie, a figure of formidable political influence, had already endured decades of personal and public struggle. Known as the mother of the nation, she had spent years under state harassment, endured the imprisonment of her husband Nelson Mandela, and navigated a life of relentless political scrutiny. By the early 1990s, Winnie's marriage started struggling. It was in this space of vulnerability and political engagement that a young, ambitious lawyer named Dali Mpofu entered her life. Dali Mpofu, born in 1962, had been politically active from a young age. By the late 1980s, he had established himself as a dedicated member of the ANC, engaged in anti-apartheid activism and labor organizing, while pursuing a law degree at the University of the Witwatersrand. Known for his intelligence, confidence, and ability to navigate both political and legal spheres, Mpofu attracted attention within ANC circles. In the early 1990s, he began working closely with Winnie Mandela, initially in a professional capacity. As her legal advisor and political ally, Mpofu provided counsel during a period when Winnie faced both internal ANC scrutiny and public controversies stemming from her past militant activities and leadership of the Mandela United Football Club. Their first encounters reportedly took place in late 1991 or early 1992, when Dali was assigned to assist Winnie in managing legal matters related to her political and personal challenges. Long hours of collaboration, high-stakes strategy discussions, and shared dedication to navigating political turbulence fostered a bond that transcended professional engagement. The relationship, initially framed by mutual respect and intellectual alignment, gradually took on a more personal and intimate dimension. Observers in ANC circles began to notice the growing closeness between the older, politically seasoned Winnie and the youthful, dynamic Mpofu. While the age gap, Winnie in her late 50s and Mpofu in his early 30s, was significant, it did not deter the emotional and intellectual connection they shared. The affair, as recounted by journalists and insiders, was characterized by both passion and complexity. It combined elements of mentorship, political collaboration, and personal attraction. Winnie, navigating the emotional fallout of her separation from Nelson Mandela and the weight of public scrutiny, reportedly found in Mpofu a confidant who understood her ambitions, frustrations, and political objectives. Mpofu, in turn, gained access to a unique nexus of influence, insight, and historical perspective, aligning himself with a figure whose political stature and legacy were unmatched in the country. Together, they formed a partnership that was at once intimate and politically resonant, intertwining private desire with public strategy. The intensity of their relationship was heightened by the constant surveillance, gossip, and scrutiny that surrounded Winnie. Her life had long been subject to media fascination, and the emergence of Mpofu in her personal sphere added a layer of intrigue. In public, the relationship was carefully veiled, with few overt signs of romance. Much of their connection unfolded behind closed doors in offices, private residences, and political meeting spaces. The nature of the affair, intertwined with professional and political collaboration, meant that it was never purely personal. Every interaction carried a mixture of strategy, counsel, and emotional intensity. The affair reportedly reached its height in the mid-1990s, during a period when Winnie was navigating both her post-separation independence and her continuing political ambitions. It is said that their relationship was a source of both support and tension. For Winnie, Mpofu represented vitality, loyalty, and the affirmation of her enduring relevance in South African politics. For Mpofu, the relationship offered mentorship, insight into leadership, and an intimate bond with one of the country's most iconic figures. Yet, as with many relationships conducted under intense public scrutiny, the pressures of political life, age difference, and the legacy of Winnie's past controversies created underlying strains. As time went on, the relationship between Mpofu and Winnie started struggling as well. In a leaked letter that Winnie Madikizela-Mandela wrote to Dali Mpofu, she expressed deep emotional turmoil over their relationship, which had reportedly contributed to the deterioration of her marriage to Nelson Mandela. She accused Mpofu of infidelity and betrayal, stating, "I won't be your bloody fool, Dali," and criticized him for being emotionally distant and unfaithful. The letter also alluded to financial concerns, mentioning a sum of 160,000 rand drawn over a period from an account associated with the ANC's Social Welfare Department, which she headed at the time. She expressed fear about potential investigations into these financial transactions, stating, "I tell you I'm in trouble with the Simmons Street AC, which reflects over 160,000 rand drawn over a period for you." This reference to financial matters added to the controversy surrounding their relationship and the subsequent investigations into the ANC's welfare department. The publication of this letter led to significant political repercussions. Winnie Madikizela-Mandela resigned from her positions within the ANC's National Executive Committee and the Women's League, retaining only her ANC membership. She stated that her decision was in the interest of her family, acknowledging the strain that the affair and its public exposure had caused. By the late 1990s, the affair began to unravel. Sources suggest that the combination of external pressures, diverging ambitions, and the complexities of maintaining a high-profile, unconventional relationship contributed to its decline. Mpofu was emerging as a prominent legal and political figure in his own right, with increasing responsibilities and a desire to establish an independent career trajectory. Winnie, meanwhile, continued to navigate her own path, balancing political engagement, public expectations, and personal independence. The emotional intensity that had once defined their bond gradually diminished, giving way to the realities of public life, personal priorities, and political strategy. The end of the affair, while never fully publicized in detail, reportedly occurred quietly, without dramatic confrontation, but with mutual recognition of the need to move forward independently. Despite its conclusion, the relationship between Winnie Madikizela-Mandela and Dali Mpofu remains a fascinating chapter in South Africa's political history. It exemplifies the intersection of personal desire and political calculation, illustrating how high-stakes activism, public scrutiny, and historical legacy can shape human relationships. Their affair was not merely a romantic entanglement. It was a confluence of mentorship, political collaboration, and emotional intimacy set against the backdrop of a nation undergoing dramatic transformation. The age gap, the controversy surrounding Winnie's past, and the intense public attention ensured that the affair was both shocking and captivating to observers, highlighting the complexities of personal life within political leadership. In retrospect, the affair underscores the human dimensions of political figures, reminding the public that leaders, icons, and activists experience personal relationships, emotional vulnerability, and desire, even amidst the weight of historical responsibility. For Winnie, it was a chapter that reflected both her need for connection and the continuation of her defiance of social expectation. For Mpofu, it was a formative relationship that combined personal affection with insight into political power. The story, though often veiled in discretion and rumor, remains a compelling narrative of love, ambition, and the intersection of the personal and the political in post-apartheid South Africa. After her official divorce from Nelson Mandela in 1996, Winnie Madikizela-Mandela entered a new phase of her life, one marked by continued political engagement, social advocacy, personal challenges, and public scrutiny. The end of her marriage freed her from the shadow of South Africa's most iconic political figure, but also intensified public attention on her own actions, ambitions, and past controversies. She remained deeply involved in politics, continuing her work within the African National Congress, ANC, and serving as a member of parliament. Her post-divorce political career focused on women's rights, social justice, and community empowerment, particularly in the townships where her activism had always resonated most strongly. Winnie used her platform to advocate for marginalized communities, launching and supporting programs for education, health, and housing in historically disadvantaged areas. Despite her independence, Winnie continued to face public criticism for both her past militant activities and her personal life, making her one of South Africa's most polarizing figures. Her resilience, however, remained a defining trait. She embraced her role as a social leader, mentor, and political voice, even as she navigated legal battles, media scrutiny, and political factionalism within the ANC. In the 2000s and 2010s, Winnie continued to engage in public life, often speaking out on social and political issues, including economic inequality, corruption, and the need for stronger protections for women and children. She also worked to preserve the legacy of the anti-apartheid struggle, reflecting on her own contributions and the sacrifices of those who had fought alongside her. Despite her advancing age, she remained an active and outspoken presence, attending political events, community programs, and international forums, earning both admiration and critique for her forthrightness. Winnie Mandela passed away on the 2nd of April 2018 at the age of 81, following a period of declining health. Her death occurred at her home in Johannesburg, and the news was met with a mixture of mourning, reflection, and public debate. For many South Africans, her passing marked the end of an era. She had been a central figure in the struggle against apartheid, a symbol of resilience and a voice for the oppressed. Tributes poured in from across the political spectrum, recognizing her courage, tenacity, and enduring influence, while critics continued to debate her more controversial actions during the anti-apartheid struggle. Winnie was laid to rest in Orlando East, Soweto, a place closely tied to her activism and personal history. Thanks for watching, and see you on our next one. Winnie Madikizela-Mandela's legacy remains a testament to resilience, defiance, and the multifaceted nature of leadership in times of oppression, securing her place as one of South Africa's most iconic and contested figures.